Again, hello, and welcome to the Check In with Coach Nikki. This is episode 10, guys. This is a big deal, double digits. We are here, we are present, and I am grateful that you're here with us today. As we try to start every section, I want to make sure that you know that these ideas and these everything that is happening here are ideas of me, experiences of my own, and those who come and join the couch. No, I am not a therapist or a psychiatrist or a psychologist. I am here sharing my experience and my hope for and my things and my outlook. And hopefully it'll help somebody who's listening and tuning in. But again, these are thoughts of my own. So anything that I'm affiliated with, it is not connected to. Thank you to my sister Letitia Melton, who does this on her podcast. She does it so much better than me. Actually, she does it slower than me as well. But you guys tune into her podcast, Apology Accepted, also on Spotify. We want to thank all of the spaces that allow us to be here. So Facebook, YouTube, Riverside. We are grateful and thankful for the opportunity and platforms that you give people like me to be here. Design team, Diamond Kemp and Carl Presley, I thank you so much for using your gifts to help me in this season with the things that I don't do well. The biggest part is knowing that there are things, baby, that we don't do well. So again, this is episode number 10. We are grateful, we are thankful for you choosing to be here in this space. I realize that I am calling this a podcast, and I think as we continue to go through this, I'm going to realize that it's something else. And as much as I've tried to give it places and spaces and try to make it be a thing, this is to come in this space, and it's transparent and we're open, and I share often because I'm realizing, or I have realized over time, that my life experiences were not just for me, right? And the healing from some of them doesn't come just from me, or nor is it just for me. So in the sharing, my hope for is that somebody gets something that helps them get to next, get over, get through, or help them in their enduring. And I'm realizing that that is what it is, and I'm so grateful for it. So I hope this helps you or helps somebody else, or you take something that you get from here and you share it somewhere else, and it creates all of the things that they may need. And realize that again, healing is ending in ing. It's a process. It won't end today, right? But it is continuous and moving forward. So go grab a friend, go grab a parent, go grab somebody you think may need to hear it. Get you some popcorn and some chips or whatever you may need. If it is a drink that you need, friend, go get that too. Because we're gonna deep dive a little bit into parenting, and maybe free you from the things that you thought were your fault. Maybe free you from the understanding that in this season your job is not to do that type of work, and realizing that in every stage they require something else, and we be missing it, right? And sometimes it's about letting them fall, and that's not your failure. Ooh, that's a good word right there. I didn't even take a note on that. They may need to fall, and that's not your failure. But again, we'll get into it. I am realizing that parenting is heavy, heavy, heavy in my spirit. It is a thing that in this season I am probably going to talk about a lot because it is who I am. I do a lot of things well, but parenting has been a thing that I've done longer than even being a child myself. I don't know if that's going to help somebody too. I've been a parent longer than I was a child. So some things in my expertise come from my experiences, right? And so as much as I am in school for a thing, I need you to get that sometimes the expertise is in the experience, not necessarily in the book. That's gonna also free you too from some that's freeing somebody else. Lord, let me help them be free, God. Let me help them be free, God. And so we're gonna get into that. But first, as in all spaces, we check in. We check in from 1 to 5. 1 being I'm present, I'm here, and that's all I have. 5 being this is the most amazing moment. Right, so you check in the comments on any platform that you're on tonight. So my Riverside family, you can check in. So my Facebook and my YouTube family, you check in. Spotify, you also check in. We gonna deep dive, right? So to the parents who are battling, to the parents who think that they failed, to the parents who think that they're winning, right? To the parents who think that, ooh, dressing them up in the little things, them little cute outfits, and then you realize that the cute little outfits become actual little outfits. That's gonna help you in a second. Check in. Let's check in first before we get into it, because I don't know if you can tell, but I'm a little excited. I'm a little excited because I realize that the enduring is necessary in this parenting game. So we checking in again, 1 2 5. Put it in the comments. Putting it in the comments isn't about who telling your business. Putting it in the comments is making you aware of where you are. Because once we see it and say it, we have to do something about it, right? Once we see it and say it, we're accountable to fix it, right? If we hold it in our head and we don't think, I don't know. Here we go. How many of you all went to the grocery store, right? Get in the store without that list and you swear, oh yeah, I'm gonna get these 3 things. I got these 3 things in my head, and you leave with a whole shopping cart at the Walmart, even at the Aldi and the Lidl. Like you leave with an entire shopping cart and not even the 3 things that was in your head. So there's some accountability when you put in the comments where you are, right? So again, we're checking in 1 to 5. Again, 1 is I'm present. That's all I have. 5 being this is the most amazing moment. As I said before, this is a conversation space, so I do expect you to put your comments in. I may not say them out loud, but if I do, realize that I'm saying it in a space so others can hear. Because again, we're on multiple platforms. That's a part of the journey, right? And don't think I don't see it, because I will go back and comment. Don't think that I don't notice, because I will go back and comment. All right, let's kind of get into this topic. Let's get on in here. So again, like I said, the topic for tonight is parenting never clocks out, right? For some of us, it's 7:17. Some of y'all just left that job, right? Some of you guys are on your way to work, right? Some of you guys are saying, forget it, I'm off today. But there's something about going to work that allows you a space to clock out. You get to go in and you get to leave. You get to go in and you get to leave, right? Parenting is the one space and the one place that even on your sick days you in, right? Even on your worst days you also in. Even on your good days you in. Because I don't want you to think that we're going to only focus on the negative. I just need you to get that at any space and time, it's nothing that you can do to leave this job. So, and I say that, and I really mean that, because even when you're gone, the skills and the seeds that you gave are going to still be working. There's no way to leave this job. You know, God forbid that is that you're that them all need you to get that this is a thing that is continuous. Parenting does not say parented. Parenting, what you're doing consistently, is a continuum. Right? This gonna put a little bit of things in perspective. I said even when you leave this earth, the seeds that you sowed during the season that you were here will still live on. So you're forever a parent, right? And so as I said before, I took this from Julius White. So if y'all see him, y'all tell him I took this little snippet, because you know what he taught was that if you misdefine, you'll misassign. So in most spaces I leave you guys at least with the definition. It may not be in Webster. It's probably my own definition. I probably should start my own book. It'll be my own definition, right? So the definition that I have for parenting is not a phase. It's a lifelong assignment. It is a continuous evolving act of guiding, loving, correcting, and covering someone through every version of who they become. It doesn't end when they grow up, it just shifts. Right? And what we miss out on, or what we forget, or what we think as people, is when we're supposed to shift. Right? I think that we get into this lane and we get in work with this, know that what work with one won't work with all. right? To my parents of just a single baby, right? You realize that what they do at 1, they won't need you to do at 10, right? So parenting is an evolving and a continuous shift, right? Literally like a shift you clocked in. And I need people to get that parenting started the moment that you saw the 2 lines, the moment that you sat in the adoption agency. I'm not relinquishing anyone from this work. You understand? The moment that you went to the IVF doctor, the moment that you made the decision and said yes to whatever way they came, you said yes. To whatever decision that was made, your position was yes, right? And so this continuum shift, literally, is the duality of who you are. It doesn't end, it doesn't stop. The shift just shifts, right? And so I want to give some tools, and I want to give some freedoms, right, to my parents. I know school has started this week. Lord, and you done let them kids put them clothes on. You done let them make some decisions. They done pack their own lunch. You packing the lunch, whatever it looked like. You have put in some work this week, and it's only the 4th day. My God. For some of y'all, they started a little early. For some of y'all, started a little later, maybe even next week. Some of y'all moved the babies in. Some of y'all took the babies out. Right? It looked different, but we're all on a parenting journey, right? And so it starts with, what did you offer as a child, right? Like, and so I'm getting here to get y'all to realize that whatever you do in the seasons, they're all necessary, but each season is a shift, right? So when they were early childhood, like 0 to 5, that was our season of foundation and formation. We are laying the bricks, right, to what will become. Even when we don't know, for some of us, when you get to that first baby, you're like, I don't know what this is, but you're supposed to be laying the foundation, right? This is the I'm not going to be raising this kid. I'm shaping them for what the world may see, right? So to yesterday, my daughter's god sister had her first day at school, and so she's young. She's hold on, I'm gonna mess this up. Malia is 5. I'm probably wrong. I think I'm right. Malia turned 5 years old. She's going to big girl school, and my 15-year-old daughter was able to look at a video of her go to school, and my daughter broke down crying, like had a whole meltdown. And I'm like, Michaela, what is happening, right? And her position was trying to make friends, and it's gonna be so hard. And she like broke down, right? And so although she's not a parent, she knows the love that she has for this little girl, and she's already realized at 15 that the world won't offer you all the things that you want. You're gonna have to go work for it. It is not an easy space, right? So at 15, she's able to look at a 5-year-old and see that it's gonna be a hard road. Life is gonna be some great days, but it's also going to be some hard spaces, because at that age 0 to 5, it's foundation laying, right? It's about how do you make the friends. It's about making sure that you're teaching them how to wash and get them properly ready to go into the school and go into school, but you're giving them these small tools, right? Every hug that you offer at this age, every correction that you offer at this age, you need routines are built at this age, and it's going to take you every little moment to get it right. Every opportunity, like everything is going to come with that. I'm doing and then explaining, right? In this age of foundation, it's I'm doing this and this is why. I need you to get this done because this is why. I'm correcting you because this is why, right? Every moment, every step in this early childhood space, you're going to be laying the brickwork. You're going to be laying the things. This is still a job. This is still a shift. You already tapped in. Yes, this is where you get to get the cute clothes. Yes, this is the beginning of them not talking back, right? This is the beginning where you get to teach them the words. You're helping them form what they say, right? You're laughing at the cute things and tripping off of the funny looking things. This is the season and the moment when is laid. You get to fix and mold them into the things that you want them to be. You get to show them the things that you want them to see. But this is early. This is early childhood. We're 0 to 5. They don't know that the world gonna be hard. They don't know what's out there in the opportunity. They don't know what to expect to see on the other side. But this is shifting of a shift, right? Because as soon as they get into that school, the elementary age starts, right? So we now 6 to 11. This elementary school. This is 1 to 5. They are in the space of independence. I got it. No, I can do it. Let me put my book bag on. Some of y'all experienced it this week. No, I want to pick my own clothes out. No, I got it, right? They're testing your boundaries. They pricking, they poking, like how far can I go in this stage? So you're offering them things that look different. Take the spaces of, hey, do you want this or that for lunch? Because we're building their independence. We're building their identity, right? We're creating some bedtime talks and some rituals. We're doing some check-ins with them because we're teaching them how to be independent and how to stand. What's your identity and who you are. Like these are the shifts of the shift. One of the things you're going to remember is the things that you did at 0 to 5, you won't be doing at 6 to 11. Because they're going to expect you to be different. They're going to need and require you to offer them different things because your job in this parenting journey is to create and push them to and show them how to be every version of themselves through life, right? So it's going to shift. So now we're shifting to my elementary school parents who got up and in the morning, you're going to say, Lord, I am over this, right? But this is the season where encouragement matters. This is the season where what you say to them, what you say and what you put into their babies are trying to figure out who they're going to be. It may sound crazy, but this is the first time that they get to engage with some children who have ideas, right? With people whose backgrounds are not their same, right? They're wondering, do I look like them? Why do my shoes and my clothes not look like theirs? I want to do what they did. Identity and independence happens in this stage, right? Then we get to middle school. Our 12 to our 14-year-olds, my God, today. Our 12, that middle school thing, I'm going to tell you, it's a different type of party in that middle school, right? In the middle school, this is the stage that is loud, of confusion, and the question of who am I? Who am I? Who am I today? So in elementary school, they kind of thought they knew who it was. When they get to 5th grade, they standing on business because they the big kid on campus. Remember, there's a transition and a shift that happens when they get to middle school. They're now back on the lower part of the totem pole, right? Going to 6th grade is a crazy space, right? But you used to know who you were, but you get to this school and kids are bigger, are taller, look, they boobs are there, your butt is there, stuff is there, facial hair is starting to show up on these other kids, and I don't have that, right? So they get to this middle school space and they're, what is this? Who am I? What's your job in parenting in this moment? To be their anchor, right? This is where you stand strong in encouraging, empowering them to be all that you saw in their foundation, right? So although there's a shift, they all work together if we work them, right? The issue is, or the hard part for us as parents is, we don't go in remembering the tools that we already use, right? So if your job in middle school is to be the anchor, right? Your job is to not be an echo. So don't say all of the things they say in that. Your job is to anchor them in who they are and who they want to be. Middle school is a tough road. Middle school is the am I enough space, right? Am I good enough space? Am I going to make it to the next day, right? Believe it or not, our babies are challenged in middle school spaces, right? Especially those who are at that 13 stage. This is where puberty happens. This is where the buds of the breast come. This is where the facial hair they start to see themselves different. Acne happens, acne happens in this space where that smooth baby skin they had before. Now it's a bump here and it don't look good and I'm scared about it. You understand? Like things change in this space, right? What's a tool you can use as a parent? Nikki, what I'm supposed to do? You saying all of these things. What am I supposed to do when they get to this middle school space? Ask the open-ended questions, right? What is the thing you wish we understood? Ask the questions because the kids are smart. I'm leaning a little bit. they got an idea, they got an opinion, and they deserve to speak on it. We don't want to hear it. Because from the generation that we grew up in, a child stay in a child's place. I need you to get that these children that are shaping our new future, right? The children who are shaping our new future, they got something to say. And you have to be willing to hear it, which means you have to be willing to ask. Right? I'm going to back up a little bit to my elementary school because I didn't give you the tools. The tool for elementary school is that's where you create the rituals. I may have said it now that I say it out loud. Right? The bedtime talks, the check-ins, those are the tools that you need in the toolbox. You're going to take those tools, right? You're going to take those tools right on with you, and because you're making rituals and realities right on into that middle school. So while you checking in, you ask the harder question, right? This space, not just me as an adult, but even the adults us know what it is we need, right? To my middle schoolers. Oh, also to middle school parents a little bit. Be transparent, open your mouth, right? Share something where you had to choose connection over control. What we miss is, right? What we miss is sharing our real story. Baby, the way we wanted to sugarcoat this thing like we ain't never did nothing. Not at middle school, you don't have to give a lot, but give something. A sprinkle of a little bit of something. Right? Because when they realize that you're just as human as they are, it becomes easier to talk. It becomes easier to work in, or they begin to trust you a little more. Because you're going to need that trust as they travel on to this high school. So to my high schoolers, 15 to 18, to those that are parents, and this is a shift, honey. This is a shift, honey. This is a shift, honey. Right? So our high schoolers, they are now becoming, right? Remember in middle school, I'm like, who am I? Now you have picked up some pieces, they'd have put some of that in their pocket, they'd have seen society, they'd have put that in their pocket, they'd have seen this is where their morals, they'd have put them in their pocket, and they kind of like shooting dice with it. And I'm gonna knock it and I'm gonna throw it. And I'm coming together and I'm saying, I'm becoming this. This is who I want to be. This is what I'm becoming, right? The biggest part that I need us to remember as they get there is they still need us to cover them. They still need us to be a part of every movement. They still need us to be there, right? As much as they claim they want you at arm's length, right? I need you to still be on their back, right? I still need you to go to PTA meetings. I need my high school parents to realize that parenting in high school is not drop off and I don't got a deal. Parenting in high school is I need to be more present, not just at their basketball games and at their cheer squad things. I need to be present in there every day. I need to, hey, the kids ain't gonna like that I said this. I need you to run them phones, friend. I need you to scroll through the phones. That's the covering. You may say, Nikki, that's being nosy. I like my kid to have their privacy. I'm saying to you that if you're covering them, how do you know how to cover them if you don't know what they're doing? Right? To the mom and the dad who's assuming that pretty little prissy over there is not doing anything. I can promise you that mouth, honey, works and runs. Right? I can promise you that little boy, your handsome son, my baby, that's my baby boy. I can bet you all the money I have. Right? I'm not telling you that the kids are not, that you don't have good kids. What I'm saying to you is don't stop covering them because you're assuming that they do nothing. Because what I said went in that pocket of building of who they become. You ready? It came with the morals that you offered, but the societal pressures that they're given, right? The images of media that they and the pressures that they have there, they all go in this pocket of who they're becoming. And you can't tap out of work because this is work. You can't clock out of work because they're older. You can't clock out of work because you think that you've given them all the things. I need you to get that when they're becoming is not all the seeds that we've sown, but also the souls that community has sown. Also the seeds that society has sown helps them to their becoming. So as much as you may have given them, as much boundaries as you may have given, you cannot check out now. The clock out can't happen now because they're older. As a matter of fact, you actually should start showing up more. Pop-up visits is a thing. right? I'm going to tell you now, the school that I work for, I won't say it here, but the school that I work for will allow you to pop up. There's a reality of not pop up for nasty, not pop up because I'm angry, but pop up just a reminder that I'm not far and I'm here. Not just to the staff at the school, but to the student that you're raising. It's necessary. The covering in this season is necessary. In this moment, the tool that you're offering them in this space is, what's your why? They should be developing their why. They shouldn't be us. They shouldn't be talking about their why at 40. Somebody should have had a conversation with them in these years about developing what's your why. And they may not have it fully together because you also may not have it fully together, but they should hear it from you first. So when they hear it at the school, it's not out of order, it's not foreign language to them, right? You're helping them to mentally prepare for what's next. And their why don't have to equate to college. But what their why is should create a plan. We should be working and helping them to develop a plan. That's the tool we're doing now, right? And it's not a detail. It don't have to be in detail. You may be saying, Nikki, I don't know that tool. Then reach out because I'm going to help you find it. Connect with another parent doing the same thing and y'all get on the path together. Doesn't do the help. Getting help from a fellow parent does not equate to weakness. It is saying to yourself out loud, I need help. The help is for the benefit of it, right? There's a benefit in the help of saying to another parent, hey, what did you do and did that work? I'm not going to promise you that it'll work for every one of your children. I'm saying that if you now have an extra tool that you didn't have because you were willing to say out loud, I need the help. This is also the season where we're coaches. High school is the season where we're coaching them. We're not just correcting them, right? So we're not doing this. You know, when you corrected that little baby, you remember we talked about correction early on. We were talking about our early childhood. We're correcting them, right? We're getting them together. We're showing them the how. The coaching is, I'm correcting. Here's a skill. Here's a tool. Now go apply it. We're not clocked out. Our shift just looks different. So in the correcting, we're coaching. It's not about just behold them the skill that works. You don't like the verbiage that they're using on the cell phone? Don't just take it. Teach them how to talk properly. We miss it because we want to fix and they should know better. We should have known better. And some days we still should know better. Right? They're children still. So our job for our high schoolers look different. And you got to be willing, right, to admit when they don't have it together. So for our high schoolers, the role of us, another space for us, is not just to correct, but to coach. Not just to discipline them, but to help develop them in a skill and in a tool. Yes, get it together. When they're wrong, they're wrong. But then how do you get them to get to what's next? What is it that they need? What was it that they were doing? And how do we make this thing applicable to their everyday life to give them a skill and a tool to move to next? We can't clock out. We can't walk away. We won't get to leave because this is what we chose. I know it was easy to say yes when they was babies and we holding them and they're cutesy and they take the picture and they sit still and they sleep through the night and they wake and you just feeding them and changing them. Now these kids have ideas of their own. They have thought processes of their own. They're independent because you've done your work. But we got more to do. So now they're 18-year-old and graduated. And now we got young adulthood. We now have 18 to 25-year-olds, right? Y'all ain't gonna like this word. I know it. We have to release them and reframe and reframe what we look like for them, right? So the way you could cover, and they needed you there right on their back. This is your season where you step back one step. For some of us, it may be 3 because you was already too close, right? You're still parenting, but you're doing it with permission. This is me learning. I'm just going to help you because I'm learning, right? This is us parenting with permission. This is conversation. We're not having conversation with the people that we grew up, right? We're now having conversation with the children that we've raised. It's less about what we control and how do we counsel. So they're not going to do everything you want them to do. This me helping me, my God, today. They're not going to do everything you want them to do. Their ideas, their thoughts won't be yours. They're their own. And that's the way it was intended. It was intended to be that way. We were supposed to get them to here, and they were supposed to fly. And when they need us, tap in, and we're forever there. We can't get mad and move because they didn't do what we wanted them to do. We support them in the spaces and in the places that they needed, but we allow them to live, make mistakes, to fall and fail, and lean in, y'all. That's not ours. If they fail, if it's failure for them, it's not our failure. They fail, but the fall is necessary. The fall is necessary for them to be successful. How would they even know that they succeeded if they've never, ever fallen? It's necessary. It's beneficial. Because if you put a cushion under them every time, the world does not offer them cushion. Nothing in this world will offer them cushion. But you should be there to counsel when they fall. Process with them how they got there. Let them get some ideas of how they're going to move next. Use this phrase with them. I'm learning to use it. I'm learning to use it even in my friendship. So this may help you all across the board, right? Do you want me to listen or do you want me to help? Let them guide how your relationship starts to form in this space. Right? So do you want me to listen to you or did you want me to give a little advice? Oh, you just want me to listen back? And when they want the advice, they're going to come. Because you've created the space where they can come. You created the door that is open. But realize that same door that open can also close. Right? That you can open the door for them to come in. And when they walk away, you can also close that door. I didn't say close the door in their face. But you got to trust that when they walk on the other side of that door, that whatever that journey is, they chose it. And that you didn't fail them because they chose it. Because all through the years, you have given them tools and space to choose. You taught them right from wrong. You taught them yes and no. You taught them what's good and what's bad. We did that back in early childhood. We applied it in elementary school. We watched it form through middle school. We covered and kept them in correction during high school. They are now at a space and a stage where I haven't clocked out. I just stepped in a little different. You moved up in the chain ladder of this job. You now on managerial duty. I'm just managing. My work, I don't have to clock in as early. I kind of make my own schedule. I know you come into work when you want to, but I'm okay with the schedule that I've created for this job that I can't clock out of. I didn't tell you it was going to be easy. As a matter of fact, I think this may be one of the hardest spaces of the job. And then again, in your transparency with coaching them and becoming counsel in this space, share with them how hard it was. Right? Once they get it, share to them what was hard about being in the space that you were in. This is about reality check. This is about giving them, because what we have failed to do is give them our real experience. We've given what we thought TV showed us. I don't have no Huxtable family. I don't know if you know one. I have not met the Huxtable family. It was cute when it was on TV, but my actuality is, this is mine. And it don't always work, and sometimes we don't speak. But I don't get to clock out because I chose to be a parent. Somebody's probably watching this saying, Nikki, that wasn't my story and it wasn't that way. And I hear you, friend. And I hear you. Maybe you saying that because spiritually I had to choose this because that's the religion I was in. And I hear you, friend. And they're here though. So even if it wasn't your choice, it's still been your charge. We don't get to clock out of here. We just don't. Because this is where we are and this is who we are. Because as I said before, this is a continuous place. Parenting supersedes our body here on this earth. Because the seeds that we sowed, they forever will live on because they came from a parent. I still do certain things a certain way because of what my mom said do. She's no longer here. But her parenting style and skills still live with me today. It doesn't end, right? So young adulthood, 18 to 25. And I'm realizing that, baby, the way that's going to bring you some freedom, lean in a little bit, it's going to be so free, friend. It's going to be so free. You want me to tell you why? Because when they don't want your advice, you don't have to deal with it. You don't even have to consider it. You don't even have to live in it. They will live in their decisions. Nikki, that's going to be hard. I know. I'm also a parent who's enduring a space where I'm watching my kids living a to be theirs, right? It did not have to be theirs. Yet it became it because that was their choice. And so watching them from afar, hit brick walls I knew was there. They said they didn't want my advice. So I had to trust them to do that. And I had to give that to them. Right? Again, we still parenting babies. We had adult children, 25 and plus. Right? This is the space of legacy and listening. Right? This is the person who's now a legacy builder. Your parenting is like echoing how they're going to be a parent. Right? How they're going to lead, how they're going to love people. This is where you get to see kind of like the cookie cutter of who you are. Right, what you become, they kind of like look like you a little bit, right? They yelling at their children a little bit like you used to yell, or they're doing the exact opposite, and that's okay too, right? What they're gonna realize, like I realized, is, baby, some of that stuff I was doing worked. My God, what I realized in parenting is the thing I thought I wasn't gonna do was what my mom and them was doing. I said, Lord, I'm not doing that ever again. I can't do that. I can't do what my mom and them was doing. I'm gonna do my thing different. And then what I realized later is the stuff they was doing worked. The stuff they was doing, friend, it worked. And I should have did it more. But I didn't, right? But again, what you're going to start to see is they're going to start to apply, right? They're going to start to apply some of these things that you've given that left legacy for them, right? What's your role in this season? To be a safe place. Not a shadow because they don't need the covering, right? But to be a safe place when they just need to come. When they talk, right? So that counseling space that you were in before, you're gonna tap into that, right? They're gonna want to come and lay and be still. As I am 43 years old, as I say often, and I talk to you guys about often, when things were not right in my life, or when I just wanted to cry, I used to go to my mom's house and lay across her bed. She wouldn't ask me a thing, and I could just cry, and I could just cry, and I would get up eventually. And I would just go on back. I would hug her and I would go out the door. It wasn't about her asking me all of the questions and what's happening and what's going on. Sometimes they just want to lay in your bosom, right? Sometimes they're just going to want to be in your space. You're like, Nikki, at 25, at 30, right? This is our 25 and up. This is our legacy, right? This is our being of a space, right? What's the tool in this season of legacy building? It's to share the stories, right? Not just the instructions, but sharing your real stories. They need to know that you were human, right? They need to know that you failed. They need to know that back in the day, you also skipped that class. My God. They need to know that you messed up your credit if you did. They need to know that you saved and stole a little money. And they need to know the things, right? They need to know you're good, but they also need to know you're bad, right? Because sometimes we easy to tell the good stories. Like I was a straight A student, baby. That ain't my story. But again, if that's your story, congratulations, right? But I was able to pull out one of my report cards and show the kids and say, look, I do require y'all at a different standard, baby. This is where I was. And it was hard for me. And this is why you need to do better. Human, that's human. Be human to them. They gonna need it. Because there's so many pretenders out in this world, so many giving them game and they should have one space that they can come to and truth lays there. Again, we're not clocking out because we're still working. This parenting job is still work. Right? I'm talking about this is 25-year-olds and older. And I'm gonna do this a little bit because I put it on these notes and I needed people to kind of get it. It must be a reason that fell on my heart to say it. But parenting mirrors God's grace. And it's for me, right? And this is me needing this moment, right? God ain't never clocked out on me, and I always mess up. And if he's the father of all fathers, and then I'm a parent sent to be a parent to an angel he gave, then how dare I clock out on them when they don't do what I need, when they don't do what I ask, when they choose to go their own way, right? But the thing that we believe in and trust to be, we let him down every day. And guess what? In the morning, I got more grace. In the morning, I got more mercy. In the morning, more things are availed and open to me. So as you continue to parent, as you're journeying this journey, this continuous journey that does not stop, remember that grace was given to you every day from a father that trusts you, that knows your story, that knows who you're going to be, that already knows your ending, and gave you more grace, even if it is that you're going to mess it up. So to the parent who's looking at that child in disgust, because they didn't turn out to do the things that you wanted for them, offer grace. To the parent who's looking at the child wondering if they're going to end up like you wanted them to, offer them grace. To the parent who got the kid who's doing all of the things right, and as you listen, you say, I ain't going to never have to endure this. Continue to give grace. But better than all of those, to the parent that is struggling, having a hard time, not knowing what to do, went from a 2-parent home to a 1-parent home to now a new step-parent in the home, to not knowing what to do, offer yourself grace. The issue is that we get this grace and you offer it to others, but you forget that there's a grace that's on you. You won't get it right every time, friend. But there's a space of correction in parenting, even for yourself. It comes with the humility of saying, even to your children, you know what, I think I messed up. Even saying to your children, I'm sorry. Even saying to your children, I didn't plan for this to be this way. Again, it's not the failure of parenting. It's the actuality of the humanity of the person who chose to be a parent. And all of those things are going to be necessary, right? Parenting isn't about your perfection. It's about your presence. Continue to show up in the best way you know how, but also connect to people, places, and things who make it help. Every stage of parenting is going to require a new version of you. We talked about it. Every stage will require you to do and be something else. So give yourself grace at every stage, because it's a new version of you, which means you haven't done it before. Even if you're a mom or a father of multiples. Each of their stages, even if they're happening simultaneously, friend, will require you to be different people at different moments. Give yourself some grace. You are also allowed to grow and evolve and be different and forgive yourself. Baby, forgive yourself along the way. Because they didn't come with no book. I pushed them out. I saw it. It wasn't no placenta. That placenta ain't had no book in it. So continue to offer yourself grace and forgive you. Even if them babies don't. Even if they don't give you the things that you need, even if they continue to say what you did and you ain't doing right, and you forgive yourself so that you can rest. Forgive yourself so that you can rest. Give yourself grace so you can continue. If I had to give you an affirmation to close that, I would say this: I am present. I am evolving. I am a grace-filled parent, and I'm enough. God didn't give them to you because he thought you had it all together. He gave them to you because he knew that you would get it together. I thank y'all for tuning in. I thank y'all for being a part. This episode is actually going to be a series. We have a few parents that are going to come on. We're going to talk to them about parenting. If you want to talk about your parenting journey, I'm inviting you to the table. I'm inviting you to the couch. I'm inviting you, if you need to stay at your house because you got them babies, and we can do it remote here too. But I want to talk to parents about your story and your journey, because what I've realized is parents assume that they're enduring this alone and nobody else has been through what they've been through. And they have to sit and be quiet, and there's some shame and some guilt that comes with the outcome of your children that actually are not yours. So I'm leaving the door open. We're going to be talking about parenting probably for however long God said I'm talking about it. It came over me, and this is what I am. This is who I am. If I had to say a space that I'm an expert in, it would be this. And not because of the books, but because of the experience. And I think that any parent that's talked to me about their parent, if they trusted me, then they saw something different. So if you have a space or you want space here, if you just want some answers and you want to write in and you want us to help answer, I'm even offering and extending that. I'm working on trying to figure out people can call in. I think that's gonna be a game changer if I get y'all to call in. But I am grateful for the space again. As always, I'm grateful to Riverside, to YouTube and Facebook and Spotify, the places and platforms where I'm able to present and do these things. I thank you. To our set director, Shanice Harrison, who comes and sets up lights and does the things so that I can be at work and do the other things, I say thank you. To Cara Presley and Diamond Kemp and Tanisha Tate, who she doesn't even know what she's done for me. I want to say thank you for helping with all the graphics and all the thought processes and holding me accountable to do this thing that I love to do. I say thank you. And to my viewers, to the people who are posting comments, who reshare this video because you can, who take and copy and make it your own and do whatever you want to keep on running these views up, I say thank you, because you didn't have to be here. To everybody, make sure you pay attention. Paying attention don't cost you nothing, right? Immediately and initially. But if you don't do it, it could cost you everything. Peace.